Okay, so I'm here with James Jim Mulligan of Milford, PA. Jim, some background information to confirm with you. You were born in 1947 in College Point, Queens.
Right.
Graduated Holy Cross High School, Bayside, New York in 1965. And entered the Army at age 17 in 1966, right? Had others in your family served in the military, or were they in the military when you entered?
They served, and my father wanted me to join the Navy, and I joined the Airborne Infantry. That shows how smart I was at 17.
So what caused you to enlist in the Army at pretty much the height of the Vietnam War, and why did you choose infantry?
Well, I wanted to do what was right for the country. That's about it.
And you volunteered to be a dog handler because there was a need at the time? They were calling for people to do it?
No, I went over to Airborne, and after Airborne, a lieutenant came over, and I was in Fort Benning, and he said that they needed dog handlers, and they were trained on the other side of the Fort Benning. And I thought, well, I like dogs, so I volunteered for the Scout Dogs.
And they chose you right away?
Well, yeah.
Did you have dogs while you were growing up? You said
Yeah.
you like dogs, so.
Yeah, I have a dog now.
You do? Have you always had a dog, pretty much?
Pretty much, yeah. But, cancer, dogs have died from cancer, and some of them 2 years, some of them 12 years, 10 years, but I go pretty much. Right now we have a rescue dog.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So what was it like meeting your 5-year-old German Shepherd partner, Ricky? And how would you describe Ricky?
Ricky was lackluster, and he didn't want to. Nobody wanted him, and I worked with him for about 3 weeks, and he became probably one of the better Scout dogs.
And why didn't they want him?
He really didn't. He didn't really shine at all. He just didn't do anything. He just wanted to eat and play and whatever. But it ended up being a very good Scout dog.
Shipped him into shape.
Yeah.
What was it like training at Lackland Air Force Base with your dog?
I never went through Lackland Air Force Base.
Oh, where did your dog come from?
He was given to the government. For what I was told, the government would pay a dollar, not to what he said, but they'd give $1, and this way that they took ownership of the dog.
So how were you trained to work with your dog?
We trained in Fort Benning for 12 weeks, and then the dogs went through 3 12-week cycles, and then I trained with him in Vietnam about 3 weeks.
And he was a scout dog?
Yeah.
And that's different than a sentry dog?
Yeah, Scout dog works on patrols, and we worked mostly night ambush patrols because it was a little bit cooler at night. Not a lot cooler, but a little bit cooler.
So when you landed in Vietnam, you were part of the 25th Division, 38th Scout Dog Platoon.
It was the 26th Scout Dog Platoon.
26th Scout Dog Platoon.
We were trained at the 26th Scout Dog Platoon. When we got to Vietnam, it was the 38th Scout Dog Platoon.
Okay.
It was a platoon.
And the base was Cu Chi?
Cu Chi.
Cu Chi base. And did you know anyone else there when you landed there?
Just the people we
Trained with.
trained with, yeah. And it was platoon.
So did you know that you'd be walking point on search and destroy missions, looking for booby traps like you were?
Ambushes, all everything.
All kinds of things.
Sweeps, search and destroy, and everything.
And mostly at night you did that?
Yeah. And my dog, he had a 6-foot leash, and what he would do to alert, he would kind of prance, and I could tell, I knew exactly what the dog was doing at the end of the leash. And you just get to know the dog. And when he started to prance, that means, and then you had, the wind is coming, and these people, they had a different diet than we had. So you could probably, I could smell them after the dog did. So, yeah.
So if you were out on these, what is it called, patrols? What is
Yeah.
it called when you go out? Like,
Patrol, yeah.
so if the dog was alerting that there was a booby trap or a mine, would it be different than if the dog was sensing a person, an enemy?
Yeah, one time the dog, I thought he was gonna, but the dog had a harness on. So when he was working, he had the harness. When he was playing, he had a choke chain. But he was smelling a bush, and I pulled him, and I popped the grenade. And there were 2 seasons in Vietnam. It was a wet season and a dry season. And thank God it was a wet season, and the powder was wet, or else I wouldn't be here,
Wow.
and the dog wouldn't be here.
But the dog knew it was there.
Oh, the dog knew it was there. Yeah, that was human error. Yeah, the dog did the right thing.
So one of the missions that you went on was the Iron Triangle.
The Hobo Woods, Boiler Woods. Yeah,
What was that?
that was we didn't know it, but they were underground. The enemy was underground, and you know we would patrol in the area, and sometimes they'd hit us, sometimes they wouldn't. A lot of times we worked in Trang Bang area, and you didn't see, it was 50-50 chance, but 100% chance in the Hobo Woods and the Boiler Woods you're going to see shit, as we call it.
So your dog knew that they were under
Well,
it tunnels?
It probably did. The dog probably knew it. Yeah, we didn't know it, but the dog probably knew it.
Were there other scout dogs and handlers along on the mission, or
No,
just
not-
one?
Well, sometimes it was a early silent alert, and sometimes there'd be 2 of us, and sometimes only 1. Depended.
But the dogs got along if they were on the same?
Not necessarily. We kept them apart. Yeah.
So your dog's sense of smell, hearing, and natural instinct alerted while patrolling.
Right.
So what did the scout dog do to alert you? Just did different signals for,
Well, again, he would prance.
he would prance?
He would prance, and then it was up to me
To figure out what it
figure
was.
out where he was and where the enemy was, and sometimes it would just outside a village, sometimes they were in a hedgerow, it depended. But the dog, in the Hobo Woods, the dog alerted 5 times.
In the what?
In the Hobo Woods,
Well, okay. 5 times in the same day?
same day, yeah.
Wow. Do you know how many times your dog alerted all the whole time you had?
I'd say maybe 50 times.
50? And anything about the bounty on a dog or handler?
Well, again, like Bob said, was it till after I got home, we found out about it.
As I read that you did have one. I read somewhere that you did have a bounty on your head,
Probably did. Yeah.
and it was $1,500.
I don't know.
Is that true, or?
I don't know. I hope not. I hope I'm worth more than that.
It was in a magazine or something, I don't know if it's true, but. Ricky's actions in war helped to save your life and the lives of others.
Right.
Do you feel that he did?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. I got shrapnel twice, but it could have been a lot worse.
So you were wounded, was your dog wounded?
No. No.
And it wasn't only danger that you worked with, you sometimes went to retrieve injured soldiers
Right.
or worse.
Yeah.
And what was involved with that? You just took your dog with you, right?
We took a helicopter to the forward base camp, and then from there we patrolled out and we found the body and the dog and the handler.
So you would go out to the scene of,
Yeah.
Where it happened?
That was only one time. Well, twice I had to go look through body bags at the helicopter pad, and there were hundreds of people I had to find.
And what about bringing the dog back from the military service? Did you think at the time that you wished that you could have?
I wish I could have, yeah. Yeah, and I do think about him a lot.
You do?
Yeah, yeah. He saved my life, so, you know, whether it's an animal or a human that saves your life, you remember him.
And you work pretty closely with that animal
Very,
for,
very much. Yeah, we worked together for 15 months, yeah.
so I know that you shared that once you left your infantry unit, Ricky was reassigned and later he was put down for natural health issues, right?
He never walked into an ambush, wasn't shot, he had a hip dysplasia. He was a big dog, he was about 98 pounds. So they had to put him down. Yeah, it was about a year after I left.
And never walked into an ambush or anything the whole
No.
time.
No.
Pretty successful dog.
Right. He was a very good scout dog.
And have you had any desire to go back to Vietnam or?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No, I was out with a girl and she said to me, "I'm going to Vietnam, you want to go with me?" And I said, "I didn't like it the first time, why would I want to go back?"
And as far as your dog, the dogs coming back, what do you think a canine dog should be treated as when it comes back? Because they still operate, right? They still have canine, Military
a lot of dogs. They started in World War I, I think, or sooner. Yeah, the dogs have, and you know what, when they caught Bin Laden, I was at a Vietnam thing in reunion in Florida, and everybody was asking me questions. I said, I don't know, because they're doing different things than what I did, and I didn't know. But they had a dog, I think it was a Malamute. I think it was we jumped a couple times, and with the dog, I jumped into the forest with him.
really? The dog went down with the parachute?
Yeah, no, it was a rappelling.
Wow.
We were repelled.
And what do you just hold the dog in your,
Well, yeah, you hold him, but he's got
his own repelling?
repelling stuff,
Wow.
equipment on him. Yeah.
So the dog is a soldier, right? It's
Yeah.
considered a veteran.
Oh yeah.
So how do you feel like they should be treated when they come back from duty?
Well, yeah, as a veteran, without a doubt. Yeah.
And in Port Jervis, with this dog, the monument now for the canine military dogs, how do you feel about this?
I've come across the country, and there are a lot of canine memorials that they have in the country, and it's sad, but I'm glad that people recognize the dogs.
I think a lot of people don't realize what a canine military dog really does.
Right, and the handler. We
And the
worked
handler.
And we worked as a team.
Yeah. And is there anything else people should know about the Vietnam War or your position with it being a dog handler? And
No, just that war is not a good thing. That's all. You know,
no matter when.
no matter what, when, who, so it's not good. That's it.
Thank you very much.